We finally got the diesel Ferrari's engine running, and this week, we're gonna make it have some boost. So currently, we have 2 turbos hooked up to absolutely nothing. And it's a twin turbo naturally aspirated engine. I've got air to water intercoolers, I've got coolant pumps, I've got a whole bunch of hose and a whole bunch of fittings, and we might even get a clutch. So it's gonna be an exciting week.
There are only 2 weeks left to enter to win this 4-wheel drive K truck, $5,000 worth of tools, and the opportunity to come hang out with us in Idaho. You'll get 1 entry for every $1 you spend at grindhardplumbingco.com.
Looks like someone's in Ferrari jail.
Einstein likes to try and eat the FedEx driver if it's not the one that he likes. Or any delivery driver, really. There's one delivery driver he likes, and everybody else he wants to eat them. So I put him in Ferrari jail for, well, we got their package delivered. This is one of the air-to-water intercoolers. So we're gonna have one of these on each side, and then there'll be a radiator for the water to get cooled by, and then the cool water will flow through here, and air will flow through there and get cooled. One for each side, and I think I'm gonna mount it something like this. Nice and simple, and as short of an intake tract as possible for spooling speeds. Basically, this will just go straight to there. On the bottom side, you can't really see very well right now, will go down, and that'll be a little more complicated because the turbo outlet faces forward, so it'll have to do kind of like a 90 degrees up and then kind of snake around to it. My best course of action here, I think, is to change the design a little bit on these 3D printed parts, have it come down at a little bit of an angle, so all I need is just a little silicone coupler right here. I came up with a design that I kind of liked. I printed it last night, but ran out of filament, and that was the last of that filament we had. So couldn't finish printing that one. It turned out all right. I added some little hexagons for, entertainment. Since that happened, I went with a little bit of a redesign because I didn't really like this long taper here. It just looks kind of funky. So I redesigned it so that it tapers in a shorter distance.
Oh, that does look better.
Yeah, and then the whole tube is more matched, and I did more hexagons embossed around it. It looks like the printer is happier now. The problem was I was printing with PPA, carbon fiber filament, which is the highest temperature filament that we have, and I think it's one of the highest temp there is. And I kept getting an error that the nozzle wasn't getting to the right temperature. I realized I didn't have enough of it to print 2 of these anyway, so I just switched to PAHTCF, which is basically high temperature nylon reinforced with carbon fiber. So it's a good one for inside the engine bay because it's high temp. The nozzle still isn't behaving correctly, temperature-wise, so I pulled it apart a little bit here, and you can see this is the nozzle. It's just a big hunk of stainless steel. This, I assume, is the temperature probe, and then this is the heater. I'm gonna try refreshing the thermal paste on it, because it was kind of crusty, and I'm thinking maybe it wasn't contacting conductively. Scrape off the old thermal paste. Apply 10 times more than necessary.
Wait, you saw what, Chris?
A mountain lion across the road right up here.
That's crazy. I've lived here for 27 years and I've never seen one.
It was just on the other side of your trees here.
Wow. That's crazy.
God, I had the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
Yeah, I bet. Those big cats are...
Have you seen him here before, Chris?
I've seen them before, but I've always seen them down in Rapid Lightning. I've never seen one here.
I've still never seen one. I've heard him. I've never seen one.
You've never seen one?
Never seen one. I've heard him chirp at me.
Chirp. That's an interesting way to describe a mountain lion noise. The printer has figured its life out. Yeah, it's now calibrating instead of just sitting there. Well, it kept saying that the nozzle wouldn't get to temperature or that there was a error in the heater element overheated. So first I thought it was just a little clip that holds it in place that was the problem, but then I looked at it some more and that wasn't an issue, so I figured, well, if the heating element is overheating and the nozzle is not getting to temp. That means they're not thermally connected. Fredo, be nice. Bjorn. That's a good boy. That's a good boy with cheese on his face. Are you a cheese face? Look at that cheesy face.
Well, he does pretty good with that.
Wait. 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 Okay, get it. Einstein. Jeez. Bjorn. Nice. Frederick. Don't take my hand, you frickin' jerk. Einstein. Dot. Be nice. Good boy.
His tail is at maximum RPMs right now.
Yeah. WPMs, Steven. Jacking this up so I can take the rear wheels off and get at the turbos better. It's kind of funny, you just drop the wheel off onto the dolly. Annoyingly, both inlet and outlet of this turbo for the air side are very proprietary. So this side already has an aluminum bit attached to it. I'm pretty sure this side was plastic. That doesn't really help much. This side, if I want to change it from what it is, I can just cut it off, weld aluminum to it. This side, not so much. I might have to 3D print some more adapters.
Probably the most 3D printed parts ever going on one of these Ferraris.
Probably.
What you got going down there?
The turbo.
Oh, you're taking it off?
I'm trying to. It'll be a lot easier to design parts for it if I can
Get it out
have it
of
in front of my face instead of underneath a freaking Ferrari. Not the easiest turbo in the world to remove, but compared to how it would have been in the car this engine came out of, it's positively easy. Talk about a ridiculously custom turbo. Look at this. The oil drain is the mount where it bolts to the block. I've never seen anything like that before. That's the mount where the turbo mounts to the engine block. It's cast into the center piece of the turbo. It's all one piece of cast steel.
Wow.
And it's the oil drain into the block. The most complicated engineering I've ever seen. The exhaust inlet is pretty custom. The air side is pretty custom. But the fact that it just bolts straight to the block and that's the oil passageway, that is some next level German engineering.
If that was in the Touareg,
You'd have to pull the engine out. There's
To
not
get
a
it out,
100%. I mean, this side of the turbo where you'd have to get to stuff, it's just basically touching the side of the car. Pretty much everything on that car was an engine out procedure.
yeah.
Not too long of designing later. We're getting somewhere.
You busted that out pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, I've had a lot of practice lately. It's got this flange, that little protrusion, and then it comes out an inch or so, rotates 60 degrees this way, and then rotates 65 degrees up, and then expands to the diameter of a 2.5 inch boot. This is something I figured out actually last night when I was working on the other one.
You're making a new alternator?
Something like that. No, I'm making an outlet for this because this is not like, you can't just put a hose on there. And also it needs to turn 90 degrees this way and 90 degrees that way. Well, not exactly 90, but roughly in a very short distance to be able to go up to the intercooler. That's what I'm making here. And now I want to put a lip on it like this one right here so that it holds the, a tapered lip that holds the hose on there. So I came up with a trick to do that last night. Once we've got the profile of that the way we want it, and then we do a revolve, we click that profile, and then for the axis, we just click this, which is exactly the center of the tube, and then we go full, and then we say join, and just like that, we have a lip on the tube. Both of these parts should be able to work on both sides. I'll just have to mirror them. This one I was just printing one just to make sure it's gonna work, because otherwise you're just wasting more time and filament. Also, I just checked tracking and it says our new clutch is out for delivery today. That means we should probably pull this transmission out in preparation for figuring out the clutch. Why did I put so many bolts in this transmission? If you're gonna kill it, you might as well overkill it.
That's what.
Oh gosh dang it. Oh wow, it's not even been that long and I already forgot how I built this thing. There's one bolt that comes in from the back side of the bell house, or the adapter. So I have to take the adapter off the engine, not the transmission off of the adapter. Consider me an idiot. Ow.
Well, transmission 1, Ethan's foot 0. That looked painful. Ethan might have had to change gears, but we can unbox this thing and it's clutch.
Oh, look at that baby, huh? Huh? Look at that. That is fancy, isn't it? Look at that thing. Holy crap. Hey, don't touch my clutch. You're ruining all my fun. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Well, Edwin, there's good news and bad news. Uh-oh. The good news is our new clutch showed up.
Oh, good.
The bad news is I just dropped the entire transmission on my foot. Ooh. I just pulled a monumentally dumb move and the mounts were sitting on this. So I was like, oh, I'll just pull it back till it's loose off of the transmission and then I'll, lift it and slide it out.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled it off and then it came loose all at once. I yanked it right back off the mounts and the whole thing just went bonk right onto my foot.
I didn't hear you yell except for Steven.
No, I just said ow.
Tomorrow's not going to be good.
You can see this flex plate has 6 nice big bolts here, bolt holes that we can use. So I basically just have to figure out a bolt pattern that fits that and fits this and then get it cut out. I may even cut it out of slightly thicker plate because of the situation that we have. That's what this 6 sets of holes here, or these.
Are they gone?
Yeah, and that's what all those.
And that bolts to the flywheel.
We had 2 boxes yesterday.
Yeah, correct.
Well, we had
But
2 partial boxes yesterday.
It's inside there.
I'll be okay.
Stacked, so you have
I'll try my
friction
best to
plates
be
and
okay.
drive plates. Kylie called her sister, and she said it's totally possible to break the middle of your foot and still be able to walk on it. And also, if you do, and it isn't set right, it'll hurt for the rest of your life. So, bottom line is, I'm gonna go get an x-ray whenever we can. So she's figuring that out while I figure this clutch out. I also love the packaging of this thing. Like, it's got its own little,
Well, this comes in the same exact thing as our portable little fog machine for photography. And in case you need to change your adaptation for a different
just in case.
thing.
Someone's gonna have to put their foot down with these jokes.
Wow, that's a thick adapter.
Jeez, you guys are on fire. What did you guys have at lunch?
That's even the same colors.
Yeah.
It must be from the same manufacturer. You need any fog, Chris? Set some ambience in the ambulance?
I'm just gonna design this. Basically, what we need is a plate that gets us from here to where the clutch needs to be. And because we have that massive adapter on here, and we don't have a normal flywheel, we have a lot of space to make up. Basically, with the way that I have the clutch set up right now, right here, with, as far as I can tell, the maximum sensible number of spacers on it, the flywheel that we have on there is 38 point something millimeters, which is basically 1.5 inches. So now I need an adapter that's 1.5 inches thick and has some combination of this bolt pattern and the bolt pattern of the flywheel we have on there. I think I'll go ahead and design this, since I just probably broke my foot. I'll sit here and design this part in 3D, see what it looks like, and then see how long it would take to get it machined. I'm trying to design a plate that bolts to this, because I already have the holes drilled in this, and it gives us a little extra space and potentially makes it easier to bolt to the engine. But right now I'm trying to figure out what order of operations will actually be possible, because imagine that being the replacement for this. Those bolts have to go in from the back side of the clutch, which means that, in theory, this has to bolt to this before the whole thing bolts to the car. Well, the problem with that is that the bolts that hold it to the car is theoretically going to be this pattern at the moment, which has to go in from the opposite direction because there's not enough clearance behind this to get the bolts in from the back. So I've currently designed a part that's actually impossible to install. Check it out. I got my clutch adapter designed here. It looks like some sort of strange aluminum flower.
Designing my clutch adapter real quick before driving to the hospital.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you should bring the laptop with you in case.
I'm gonna need it in the waiting room. Yeah, I actually probably will.
Yeah.
And I'll just like redesign a bunch of other parts while I'm at it. This is the clutch adapter. It's got a lot going on, but I notched out the sides where all the bolts are so that you can actually access the bolts for both this and the side that goes to the engine, which we're gonna have a double adapter here just because it makes it easier, but at least it won't be a triple. So I'm eliminating this ring. This will just already be bolted to the engine with its dumb 11 bolt pattern. And then you can see this has a 6 bolt pattern there, and that's this pattern with a little step for this to sit in. So those bolts could be accessed from the front, or from the side rather. You can imagine if this was bolted here and you didn't have this open to the side, there'd be no way to get those bolts in except from the back, but the back is where the engine is. So I opened up the sides here, and then I just went ahead and did the same for the ones that go to the clutch, which is this pattern here, because that way you can access those from the side as well. Also, it has a center so that it can hold the pilot bearing for the input shaft for the transmission.
So this is what you found this morning.
You know, you would think the printer ran out of filament. No, it said it was 100% printed. That does not look like 100% to me. I don't know about you, but where I come from, that's not 100%.
That's not a passing grade.
No, it's really annoying too, because I used some of our best filament on that. But check that out. That's really satisfying, isn't it?
Hey, that looks good.
Yeah.
From this angle, if you look at it just right,
It looks like it's gonna work.
All right, video is complete.
Boost out the bottom. So I have another one exactly like it printing right now, and then when that finishes, if it prints well, I have a mirrored version of this queued up. Oh, and also, I also have this one.
Also, how's your foot doing?
It's super bruised and swollen. Supposedly, probably not broken. Nice, purple toes. Yeah, I went in last night, got it x-rayed. The moral of the story is, always wear leather boots. Your foot's not broken. And I was like, nice, that's a good ad for Brunt. But then they, radiology looked at the x-rays and they said, well, we can't rule out a fracture. So whatever that means. It's like Schrodinger's fracture. You know? It both is and isn't broken.
It depends on how you observe it.
Right, exactly. But yeah, this is done. I even remembered to put the O-ring groove in it this time, so let's see if this O-ring fits. It might be a little snug.
What we have here is a great strength of feet.
Yes. What we have here is the opposite of a great strength of feet. Au contraire, my friend. Now that you are here, what we have is a great strength of feet. I have many fittings here. I'm not sure quite yet where I'm gonna mount the pump, but I do know where the intercoolers are gonna be mounted. And I have 2 of these so that I can just run one line to and from the pump and then split to go to both intercoolers. I already have a nice swivel 90 fitting on there, which is extremely handy.
That can rotate 360?
Yeah, and it just adapts straight. It's just a one piece. Usually, and on the other side, I only bought 2 of those because I figured I'd need straights on one end. Like this one, you screw this fitting into here, and then you have to screw another fitting onto it, which is convenient for removing things, but this hose is going to be super short before it meets up with another hose and has another fitting anyway. So one less fitting and a swivel ability is quite convenient. I'm honestly not sure if I'm even going to need mounts for these because they're going to be such short pieces of tubing on either end.
Yeah, I might just hold it pretty nice.
Oh, hi, Frederick. Who's a big loaf of bread? Are you a loaf of bread? It's Bredrick. Bredrick von Loefenstein.
Don't let Ethan drop any more transmissions, Fredo.
Check it out. Rerouted so this hose goes under the intercooler. Looks way better. And it brings it in an angle that works better as well. My test clutch adapter is printing over at Edwin's shop where we have the bigger 3D printer. It's been printing for 6 hours or so. It's a 12-hour and 44-minute print, and most of that is because of the supports, because it has a huge chunk that's just flat but suspended above everything else. So I fine-tuned the design here a little bit. I optimized it for aesthetics and weight reduction. So I sloped off the sides here because those weren't doing anything, and I expanded these holes here because the center bit, all it has to do is hold the pilot bearing. That does not need to be very strong. I mean, it is very strong because that's still like half-inch thick aluminum.
How's our print looking?
Let's find out. Ooh, look at that. It's looking pretty dang good, honestly.
Cool.
One might even say it's cooler. I mean, one spot I could put it is right like that. The problem is, without putting the transmission back in, I'm not 100% sure if that would clear. If I put it there-ish and put the fans on this side, pulling air into the engine bay, it would get nice, fresh, cold air. Problem being, the natural airflow is probably going to be this way. Look at this, Steven. The Ferrari was made for this intercooler.
Oh, wait, what? You already have it? Wow.
I just unbolted the old exhaust mounts.
There it goes.
And just drilled 4 holes, and now the intercooler radiator's mounted.
And that's definitely out of the way of the transmission.
Oh, easily. There's 2 ways I could run this. I could put the fans on top of it and pull fresh air from outside the engine bay up through. But realistically, the exhaust is going to be right here somewhere, so that'd be pulling hot exhaust air through this. Instead, we'll use the natural flow of air for the car, and when we build the hood here, we'll have some vents. And another thing I could do, I could put the fans on the bottom, pulling air through, but I could also create ducts. Because this right here,
Yeah.
we still have part of the original convertible, so you can't tell, but this is supposed to be an air duct right here. Inside the wing of this part of the body is an air duct. Either way, I could run a duct back to here that shoves nice cold air straight onto the intercooler at high speed.
Look at him go.
I know. I feel sorry for him, man. That hurts. That guy is tough as nails. He's one of the toughest guys you'll ever meet in your life, that one right there.
You know what just didn't even occur to me yesterday, Ethan?
We could have taken you to the doctor in that.
That would have been hysterical. We should have done that. Just drive to the hospital in the ambulance.
Next time.
Yep.
Well, hopefully there's
Preferably not. I mean, what I can guarantee you is that there won't be a next time that I drop the transmission out of the Ferrari on my foot. There'll probably be a next time I need medical attention, but I won't make that dumb mistake again.
It was too many in a row of Edwin getting hurt.
Yeah, I had to even the score, you know? The radiator is here. How to route the hoses that looks best. I have one from the solo car that I salvaged right before we crushed it. Just looking for a place to mount this little pump here. I'm gonna use the one out of the solo car just because why not? I could easily replace it later, but the other reason to use it is simply because it has a very nice rubber mount.
98%, Ethan. It's doing the final couple layers here.
Is it at 100%?
We're getting really close.
Wow, that's
I
exciting.
just want the satisfaction because I've been checking on it periodically. I want to see it go to 100.
99.
Come on.
Ah, there it is.
Hey!
Oh, it just brought the plate with it. Nice. It chooses the supports in the program before you send it to the printer. It just generates where they are, but you can change the parameters of when it thinks it'll need them, like the angle, the maximum angle that it can. You can change all those settings, and then it just generates this to support. Like you can see this one here just went up, and then supported the inside of the top of that hole.
Right.
Which realistically, I don't care about the inside of that because you can just drill it out. But you can't really tell it, don't do that hole specifically. It just supports every surface that's, far enough away from vertical. Check it out. I took both parts for the other side, put them both on one print and then mirrored them. So these ones will be opposite for the other side. Look at how lucky I got with my eyeballing of those angles. Like the way that sneaks around that other tube.
Yeah, it clears, but it also looks good.
Dang, that almost reaches by itself.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I just made this a little bit different angle and a little longer, I wouldn't even need a piece of aluminum. That's what I get for eyeballing things. I mean, to be fair, this wasn't even in existence when I eyeballed where that needed to be, but...
Still pretty close, though.
Yeah. I think the best course of action here is going to be just change the angle of things a little bit, extend it up a little bit, because basically it only needs to be about 1.5 inches longer, and then I would only need the silicone elbow. Whereas pretty much any other version of doing this, it involves extra clamps. Last night, after I finished redesigning the longer turbo side intake tube, I decided to just cancel the print that was going up there and restart, because it was only this far along, and rather than print a piece that I'm probably not going to use, I just restarted it. But what's crazy is this obviously is just the flange, of this, right? And this is printed out of that PAHT carbon fiber filament. This looks pretty flimsy, right? I literally cannot break it by twisting it.
Really? It looks
Actually
like you could just
cannot-
crush that.
Yeah, if I folded it in half, I could probably break it. No, not really.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, feel it. Like, it's insanely strong. And it's just flexible enough to not break. It's quite rigid, but it still has some flex. Isn't that insane?
Wow, that's really strong.
Here's the print for today. I'm just printing the other side intake adapter because with that, I can keep going on the rest of the process while the lower one prints. But the good news is, over at Edwin's shop,
Hey, that looks like it turned out pretty fine.
also look how much better the camera is in that bigger.
Wow.
Also check this out.
I don't know if that
Isn't
relates
this-
through this screen, but it's way better. In
Isn't
person.
this funny? Look, I can move stuff around in that printer from here. Zoop. Isn't that cool? I was messing around with some stuff there on the engine, and this is part of the crankcase ventilation system here. It just goes into the valve cover and then goes out and down to the turbo inlet. So I blew into both sides and I couldn't tell any difference, so I wanted to take it apart and see if there's anything actually going on in it. And it turns out there is. It's very basic, but there's just a diaphragm and a spring. And after a little bit of examining and Googling, basically what it does is the higher the RPM, functionally, the more it restricts flow, so that it doesn't get too much of the crankcase fumes into the intake at high RPM. If it wasn't doing much, aside from redirecting the airflow, I would have just deleted it, but I feel like it's probably semi-important to have it. The whole reason I was messing around with the crankcase ventilation system is because with these intercoolers here, the pipes don't line up anymore, so I gotta rearrange it a little bit. This is the little elbow that sticks down into that hole in the valve cover. I think I'm gonna cut off the whatever degree, what is that, like a
like a
100
sharp bend.
150 degree angle or something? 120?
A number 7 degree angle.
Or a 1, depends on how you look at it. This is the aluminum bit of the tube that goes down to the turbo inlet. Cut a chunk off of it. Now I'm just re-bead rolling it so the hose will want to stay on there. Good as new. Time to weld a bung onto this. I switched up to the smooth plate because I looked at it and it says for PETG, ABS, TPU, PA, and PC. Well, this is PAs. Get the O-ring groove cleaned out, and then I realized I don't have another O-ring. Somewhere in the process of all of this, the O-ring from the other original part left the chat. What I could always do is take some just like silicone, high temp silicone stuff and just squeeze it in there and then let it cure part way before I bolt it on. Kind of ruining my chances over putting an actual O-ring in here, but that's okay.
It just disappeared into the ethos. As Edwin would say.
It disappeared into its belief system. That's all I hear. Edwin hears a word that sounds like ether, and it's the same thing. I just hear, it disappeared into its belief system. That's a really rough translation of the word ethos, but I'll put these bolts in there just barely finger tight. We'll let that gasket maker set up, and then I'll tighten them the rest of the way. I'll eventually make something to, attach this to other than just zip ties. And once I have everything finalized, these little clampies here, I can weld a nut onto the tube and bolt straight through it, and that'll hold that.
Well, that'll be kind of perfect.
Keep it from vibrating around. But, I think that looks pretty darn good.
Looks great.
This bugs me. I wish this hose was laying like that one was. Or that one is, but it doesn't, it's not enough to, I could always put something that holds it right there. We got the pump over there, and the pump pushes fresh cold coolant into this end of the intercoolers. Behold, a 3D printed clutch adapter.
Let's run it.
Yep, see how long it goes. It would go approximately 1 rev of the engine without anything attached, and then it would explode.
You're hustling around okay.
Yeah, I managed to stuff my foot into my boot today, which helps a lot. Because it gives it a lot of support. Yeah.
Yeah, it also doesn't let it swell quite as much, which hurt
is
you
good
later. But
yeah, pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, seems like it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, PLA prints so nicely, and that newer, bigger printer also prints really nice. Edwin brought up the other printer, so we can have it here and, print 2 things at once in the same place. Go ahead and try to break that.
all right. It's like, wish I could throw a football over the mountains.
Yeah, basically. Isn't that insane? Dude, even over the edge of the table. Isn't that You
What
can't.
the heck?
It's a quarter inch of hollow plastic and you can't break it.
What the heck? All right, let's get some more leverage on this bad girl.
There you go. Yeah, isn't that insane?
It actually is insane, especially since there's not any finished edge.
We'll get the forest out of here. Oh, that is satisfying. Man, there's nothing like PLA for easy separation of supports.
Yeah.
I'm so used to all these carbon fiber high temp filaments that I'm using here in the shop. Can you have it? Yeah, of course. I was just gonna throw it in the trash.
I want to take it as a kid to play with.
Yeah.
Scatter all over his mom's house.
There you go.
So yeah, that end fits. And this end also fits.
Hey,
So we can bolt it all together and then,
you weren't kidding. You had to space it out a lot.
oh yeah, it's like 2 inches. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, the adapter plate that I made over there adds an inch. And 2, we're not using a traditional flywheel because it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
A traditional flywheel is like that much space in and of itself, so
Yeah. So it ends up probably being a little bit lighter still.
Than a traditional flywheel? Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Which means faster revs, but also it's a diesel, so... As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty irrelevant because, like, you want a big flywheel for torque. Well, we have all the torque in the world.
Yeah.
You want a small flywheel for faster revving. Well, it's a diesel, so it's just not going to be like that anyway. So it's like, dude, I'm not worried about it. It's just going to be what it's going to be, and it'll probably be great.
That's what's going to be so cool about this is you'll have to shift so much, and it's going to be so much fun to drive.
Yeah. Now all we have to do is attach it to really either the transmission side or the engine side. But I'm going to do the engine side because the transmission side would just be sitting on the splines, so we wouldn't get an accurate measure because it could wiggle around. Test and make sure we can actually get bolts into that, and then we'll get a measure from block to clutch surface, double check that with the adapter to splines distance. For all of the 0 people in the universe that'll ever do this engine transmission combo ever again, I have the files if you need to get this made.
Is this an electric water pump?
It's out of the Solo car.
Hey, the Solo lives on.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
a Solo's dream to be in a Ferrari someday.
It really is. That thing's rear end was very much Ferrari inspired.
It really was, yeah.
Look at that! It's a clutch! You know what'd be funny is to just leave that on there, assemble this, and then when we start it up, just have it on jack stands and drive it, but with the plastic clutch adapter. It might not even survive first, like, just cranking power with that plastic.
3D printing a Ferrari, one part at a time.
And this is why we 3D print things before we spend lots of money getting them machined.
Oh.
My math was off by about 4 millimeters, which isn't that bad. And it would probably be able to work if you really needed it to, because this is where this sits right up against the throwout bearing. And you can push it back because there's nothing on the other end of this right now. So that's the stroke of the clutch right there. But as it sits right now, something I measured was off, I don't know where. The distance with this sitting where it wants to sit, the distance from this surface to this surface is 11 millimeters. And the distance on here to the corresponding surfaces is 15. So we're off by 4 millimeters.
We need to make a sticker for the 3D printer that says chickadee check yourself before you rickety wreck yourself.
Great.
That'd be awesome. CHIGGITY. I was picturing chickadee check yourself. You know what I mean? That's really not that bad.
Yeah, we could try putting a little
We
hair
can
to
make
it.
that sticker right now
Okay.
while they figure this out.
You know, oh, and we can cut it out with our other 3D printer with the laser thing. We have reflective sticker tape.
We do?
Yeah.
When did we get that?
We have a 3D printer with a laser in it?
Yeah, it can cut stickers.
All right, hang on.
Some of this math and figuring is beyond me.
I think some of it is
Hit it again.
theoretical at this point, too.
Yeah. Yep, so
That's all the way out.
it sits all the way out. So basically, we need to determine where the clutch cylinder sits.
Yeah.
Because right now, when I said my math was off, I was thinking that this was too thick. But in fact, I was measuring it with it sitting here when it needs to sit there. It needs to sit there so that the clutch has somewhere to throw,
Yeah.
right? Because when you push the clutch, it needs to push against it. But right there, sitting there is, if you push the clutch in, nothing would happen because it's already all the way out.
Yeah.
So, the difference there at an eyeball is about 8 millimeters. So in fact, that 4 millimeters I said it was off by is,
In the opposite direction.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm picking up what you're putting down. One might argue Ethan's doing the important work. One might argue I'm doing the important work. We'll never really know.
it really won't.
There's no way of knowing.
And they are both related to 3D printing.
Exactly.
Let me position this so it's right over my foot again.
Any PTSD?
A little bit.
PTFF? Post-transmission foot fear?
I'm just gonna go ahead and slap the transmission back in there, put 1 or 2 bolts in it because we've got the clutch stuff figured out and now we just have to wait on the adapter, but I don't want the transmission just getting in the way on the floor in the meantime. And hopefully not drop it on anyone's feet this time. Look at that. Perfect spot for a fuel tank right there. That way, when you crash, you explode immediately. I think the pump will mount somewhere over here. We're actually gonna have 2 returns because there's a pump return and then an engine return. But that's fine because the pump return can just go back into the bottom of the tank here. And the engine return can go into the top right here. Just gotta figure out a mount, run some lines.
Yeah, really, you're walking around so good after a couple days you can hardly tell you hurt your foot.
Yeah, I can walk almost normally. Ironically, I'm going in like an hour to get more x-rays because, well, basically I'm not convinced that it's not broken for various reasons. My sister is a doctor and I was talking to her about it. She said that it's quite common for finger and toe breaks to not even show up on an x-ray for a few days. And also said she's had a few friends that have broken their foot and then walked on it for a week and then found out it was broken. So, I'd rather know. Check it out. There's a little access hole in whatever you want to call this piece of the Ferrari with a little rubber thing. So I pulled that and drilled a couple of holes in it. And now
Oh, perfect.
I can run the fuel lines through there.
That seems pretty convenient.
Indeed.
Quite a bit of length there, huh?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot spool. Obviously, I could also have fed it up from the bottom, but given how low this thing is, that would have been more difficult.
I just rolled in Monday morning and it looks like Chris brought a little gift for Ethan, so things are not going well.
Here, if we mount the broom on the front, you could be a street sweeper.
I could, yeah.
Wow, you could drift that thing. Look at that turning.
Look at the angle, yeah.
Yeah.
Put some slicks on the back. Yeah. You may notice a little bit of regression here. I was wearing boots last time you saw me on camera. Well, I spent all weekend working on stuff. I installed cabinets, did tile, milled like 5 logs of lumber. No problem. Then I went and helped Kylie out with, we're setting up a new duck run area so they can go out and eat the grass and stuff. Have a little bit of room to run. So we got that all set up, you know, walking up and down the hill. No problem. Everything's all good. And then I cut a little hole in the fence so that they can access it from the main yard to the new yard. This tall, that wide, cut a hole in the fence. Well, I cut it from the inside, and then I needed to be on the outside so I could cut the last few strands that were like half buried in the dirt. So I crawled through the hole in the fence, put my foot like this, and then I went to crawl through. I snagged my hoodie on the fence, and it ruined my, like, I was moving forward. It stopped me to keep from falling on my face. I put all of my weight on these toes all at once, and it went back to worse than day one. After 2 doctors told me, no, it's not broken, you're fine. Just, you know, just walk on it, you're fine. If you can walk in here, you're fine. No, not fine. It's way worse. So I went in today and got more x-rays. You know, it was totally getting better.
Uh-huh.
Totally. Anyway,
That's a dad joke, Chris.
Yeah.
exactly. That's a dad joke.
Well, at least Chris brought you a sick whip.
Yeah, now I got new wheels.
Look at those brakes, man.
I know, disc brakes and everything. Wait, it's got individual left and right brakes?
Oh,
That-
what?
None of them, I mean, you have to really yank them. I don't
You
think
see
brakes.
Ethan's new whip?
Yeah, I was thinking there's not room for a Hayabusa, but what can we put in there?
Well, we have the 28K kit from the pink Lambo since I
Oh, that'd
crushed
be
that.
perfect, actually. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. How crazy is it that after the Lambo situation, I didn't end up in a situation like this? I think he thought some bolts were in the transmission that weren't, and she was like, oh.
Yeah, basically. My foot got considerably worse over the weekend due to stupidity. But I finished printing all the parts for the Ferrari. So we should be able to finish hooking up the intake and hear the vroom vroom noises of 2 turbos on the world's first diesel Ferrari. Man, I really want this thing to have a throttle.
Ethan was missing a few tools, and I was looking around, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna look in the ambulance. I went into the back portion and didn't see any tools, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And I was like, oh, look in the cab. You ready, Ethan?
I'm ready. Yeah,
I think those are the ones you're missing, isn't it?
yeah, that's what, 2-3 flathead screwdrivers at least? They gave me some crutches when I went into like urgent care this morning to get a new x-ray, and hobbling out the door and like trying to adjust my crutches, and this guy coming in was like, first time on crutches? I was like, well, first time in 20 years anyway. Hopefully moments away from starting this thing up and seeing what it sounds like with the turbos attached. Hooking up the battery here, gotta clean the terminals on it a little bit, and I'm just gonna go ahead and instead of having to plug everything in and unplug it, I'm just gonna hook up this battery switch real quick for powering all of the accessories.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it'll make life just a lot easier. And to bust out Edwin's Chang Li, it's technically a mobility scooter.
It sure is.
It's even got the little wheelchair symbol on the back.
It sure does. That's what makes it legal to trundle around on the sidewalks, according to the Amazon listing.
You know, Edwin, the other day I got it out from in front of the shop.
And I don't think I've driven that one yet. And I actually just kind of understand you even less after driving it, because I went up that hill and it was like so slow up that hill.
Electric fuel pump run for a little bit. Get the fuel all circulated through.
Oh yeah.
I guess we'll just see if it wants to crank. Maybe exhaust is coming out the turbos now. Yeah! Woo! I have the strangest feeling we're not passing evictions in California. What makes you say that? Man, it fired right up this time, which is pretty impressive because one, it has no glow plugs hooked up currently.
Yeah.
Two, it's not a particularly warm day. I mean, it's like 60 degrees or something, but not like hot.
Yeah.
And three, I just had the fuel system disconnected for all week. So like it still had to get some air out of the system. And it just
diesels
fired.
don't like air in the system at all.
That sounds so good now that it actually has boost.
Yeah. It's amazing hearing those things whistle.
So good. And when it's got actual load on it, it's gonna sound even better.
I'm surprised too when you were revving it out, it actually like sounded good.
Right, it
Like-
sounds high RPM. It's not like most diesels, they sound good under load and they sound good to like for the like 3 seconds they rev.
Yeah.
But most diesels only rev to like 3,500 RPM.
Yeah.
So they kind of just get boring really quick. But no, this thing sounded like aggressive.
Well, that was a nice success.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Just
man.
ripped right on up. That was amazing.
Well, nice work, Ethan.
Thanks.
Maybe
Well,
you took your foot in, but
one minus some points for broken foot, but
but everything you worked on worked.
oh yeah.
Hey, it's a
Great.
good thing you gotta use the throttle by hand right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It was a little different driving my truck today. There was a deer that jumped out in front of me, and I like kind of contemplated before I hit the brake because I was like, that's gonna hurt if I stomp on the brake really hard. And I was like, nah, I've got a big bumper. So I put my foot on the brake just lightly, and the deer survived barely. But I was like, nah, is it worth the pain?
It's like, dear, you chose a bad day. My foot hurts.
Yeah. Now I gotta build an exhaust that comes together right here.
Yeah.
Comes back and then like exits, like merges into a. Yeah.
That's going to be so cool.
Well, I'd call that a great success. All of my 3D printed parts even held up for the, 2 minutes it was running. So that's a good sign. And it also means that next episode we should be able to drive this thing. Because we're getting that adapter plate machine. So yeah, we should be able to drive it next episode. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And don't forget to enter to win a K-Truck full of tools. Head over to GrindHardPlumbingCo.com. Every dollar you spend gets you entered to win. And you get to come hang out with us for a day and see this beautiful machine run in person.